Well, we do begin with some heartbreaking and serious images. This image that we're actually not going to show, so let me take that back. Well, there is a shocking image of a father and a daughter face down in the Rio Grande, and it is sparking outrage right now, rightfully so. The image we decided is too graphic to show here, but officials say the Salvadorian man and his nearly 2-year-old daughter, who you see here, drowned in the river on Sunday after being swept away by the current. This follows recent news about horrific conditions at migrant detention facilities, as reported by doctors and lawyers visiting the sites, including kids sleeping on concrete floors with the lights on 24 hours a day, with no access to soap or basic hygiene, and claims of torture. Many expect the immigration issue will take center stage tonight at the first Democratic debate in Miami. It's a 2-day event that will give 20 candidates a chance to speak out on the crisis. But it has many of you asking whether or not this humanitarian crisis will be a defining issue in this next election. Do you think, Al, that it will take center stage?
I think in the Democratic debate it will, but I don't know on a national level. I don't know if this affects people enough to care. I think that this is something that they watch on their TV. I think they'll say that's sad, but they're not following the rules. And I think this is something that, unfortunately, we're going to have to look back on our lives when we're all 90 years old and in a rocking chair and looking back on what we did. We're going to have a lot to atone for.
I hope to God you are wrong about that.
Sam,
that image that is on the New York Times right now, and I hope every single person takes a second to look at it, because by shutting your eyes to it does not make it go away. That image of a father and a daughter washed up to the shore, the daughter still holding on to her father, will haunt me. And I know it haunts Republicans. I know it haunts Democrats. I'm so sick of this. And I know you and I are on the same page, Jeff. We're so sick of this being Republican, Democrat, Obama, Trump, who's responsible, who's not, when in reality they all failed. They all failed these children. So when are we just going to buck up and be humane and stop thinking about political affiliation and do the damn right thing?
It's hard. Nobody, like Al said, nobody cares. You see this picture. If you don't have compassion when you see this picture, you're not a human being.
Right.
Of course you're going to have compassion when you see this picture.
I think people care. I think people care.
I think people don't care.
People are blinded.
And I think people just want to blame our government. They want to blame who's in our office right now for what's going on down there. That's fine. This has been going on for plenty of offices.
You're right about that.
So I don't want to make this like a Trump thing. I hate piling on every day. I honest to God, I hate starting my day with this negativity all the time. The people in charge of these countries that they're coming from, they're begging their people, let's work on this together. Please don't do that. Please don't bring families across.
But how hard do you think it must be for that mom and dad to say, okay, my daughter's either going to face gang violence and rape and whatever she might have to face, or she's going to have to face this crazy excursion. They got to weigh out that risk and reward. I can't imagine as a parent what that must be like.
What if I told you right now I have the problem? I have the answer to solve this problem. Let's take money from our school teachers. Let's take money, the funding that's going into our school systems. Let's give it to these children so they can have a proper American education. Let's do that. We're going to take some of that money that's already low level.
That's ridiculous.
Why is there?
Because there's so many other avenues to go about this than
because there's no answer,
teachers.
Sam. There's no answer.
But we can hold these detention centers accountable. They are for profit. They're billion-dollar industries. We can say stop it with your non-disclosure agreements that you make every single one of your employees sign so you can keep everything hidden. We can start to hold them accountable. So go to places like Together Rising. Together Rising is an organization, a nonprofit that is holding them accountable. Erica, I'm so sorry. Please chime in.
No, I think that we're missing a fundamental issue, that we're very selective with our empathy and we're very selective with our resources. We're living in a country that if someone came to your front door and slid and fell and broke their ankle, you would be responsible for that, even though you never even invited them there. So it's interesting how that's a selective application for who is responsible. But we're also selective with our empathy. How are we supposed to care about someone else when we don't care about ourselves? So I think that's where the problem comes in. What the solution is, I do believe, and I wholeheartedly feel like someone is going to bring something to the table. And by having photos like this that are absolutely, people are like, oh, they're trying to outrage us. Of course, because we should be outraged. So by having a photo like that in the New York Times, it forces a conversation. And once we have that conversation, then someone has to come to the forefront. And I really do hope that it's a bipartisan situation.
I do. I pray. And I really do believe it will be. I believe that Democrats and Republicans will come together as well as the American people, and they'll make this right. I really believe that in my hearts of hearts.